Welcome to Bad Decisions with Jazz, Episode 1. Well, welcome to my channel, everyone. Lovelies. I'm glad to have you here, I think, if you're listening anyways. I say a lot, so I'm just going to go ahead and warn you. I say like a lot, too. Don't know why I do it. I think it's just like my pausers, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and just give you a background of myself. I am from Chicago, Illinois, originally. I wasn't born there, but I was bred there. Does that count? I think that counts. So, I mean, I grew up there. That's where I got, like, most of my life lessons. Definitely got high school there. A lot of elementary school and middle school, things like that. I currently live in Arizona, and I know what you're thinking, because everybody tells me this. How did you go from Chicago to Arizona? That's a whole other scenery. Well, guys, look, work took me here. This is where I'm at. And look, I used to hate Arizona. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna front and say that I loved it so much when I first got here. Fuck no. I hated Arizona. But now it's just like, this is my home. I bought a house out here. I'm living my best goddamn life. Hell yeah. No, I will not leave Arizona anymore. It's come to the point where it's like, yeah, I've thought about moving back to Chicago, but all of those plans that I've ever thought about just involved me coming back to Arizona. So why even leave? So that's why I bought a house. I was like, I'm not leaving. I love it too much here, so I'm not gonna leave. And that's where I live now. That's part of me. I'm 23. I turned 23 June 20th, which it's June 24th, so that was pretty recent for me. I feel old as shit, not even gonna lie. I feel like I got back pain, knee pain, you name it, I got the pain. Believe me, even heart pain. I mean, shit, like, I have all the problems in the goddamn book. It feels like I'm old. I feel old. I'm like old soul. You feel me? Why did I start this podcast? Ooh, this is such a good one. Multiple reasons. I needed something new. You go through a breakup, right? And, well, what do people do? Mainly girls, from what I've seen from experience. They go out, they get their hair done, they get a huge haircut, they change something about themselves. Some of them get their hot girl body on. That's kind of me right now, but I needed a little bit more than just working out in my garage, so here I am, making a podcast, trying to kind of put myself out there, out of my comfort zone. I wanted to start a new hobby. So I started a new hobby recently, but that got fucked. Long story short, I hired landscapers because I was too lazy to do yard work myself. So I was like, oh, I'll just hire some people. Yeah, okay. Well, that is a bad decision with Jazz. So I hired the landscapers. Mind you, my garden that I started looks neat. It's in rows. You can tell that it's a garden, and these landscapers plucked the goddamn garden out, and I'm just like, I'm still so upset about it, honestly, because it was pretty recent. I did it before my birthday because I wanted my yard to look clean and fresh so that when I had people over, well, a bitch got her life together because her yard is clean. No. The garden was gone, and I had such a panic attack, and unfortunately, I suffer from anxiety, so I'm just like, well, go ahead and kill myself now. Not literally, don't need to call anybody on me, I promise. I make that joke a lot, and I know that's really bad, I probably shouldn't say that. But I don't know why I say it, honestly. I should get out of my vocab, huh? Yeah, and so that's what happened in my garden. That was my recent hobby. I'll probably start it again, I don't know, but I feel like podcast is a hobby. It gives me the opportunity to get out of my comfort zone, like I said. I want to meet new people and expand my horizons, but the problem is I work, 5 days a week. Sometimes I'm on standby on the weekends because I'm military, and look, I just want to be able to put myself out there in the best way that I can, and I feel like with my schedule, podcasts are the best way for me to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is me just putting my opinions out there. I just want to put that full disclaimer. These are totally my opinions, how I feel about a situation, how I handle situations, what I've been through personally, my personal experiences. So don't come at me, don't check me. Look, this is just how I feel. This is just me, okay? This is me just vibing. I'm in my house right now, my gaming room, alright? The lights are fucking purple. I'm in booty shorts, and I'm chilling, living my best goddamn life. I should have a glass of wine, no cap, but I don't. I should go get one. I don't know yet. Yeah, and that's really why I wanted to start this podcast. And you know what? Listen to this. I am surrounded by people who never let me finish a story. So if I cut someone off real quick, I'll just be like, hey, give me 1 second. You don't have my undivided attention, but when you do, I will give you it, and you could tell me anything that you want to tell me, right? That's a pretty standard courteous thing to do. Well, all my friends don't let me finish a story, and I'm just like, man, come on. I just want to tell my story. I know I'm dramatic and I try to get the entire story, which is like a huge problem that I have, but just fucking listen to me anyways, damn it. All my friends know this too. Like, I always complain about it. It's so funny, and they just sit there and laugh like, well, that's tough, Jazz. And I'm just like, great. Thank you for the support, huh? Yeah, and that's why I started this podcast. So let's get into what this podcast is about. Can you be friends with your ex? Why or why not? Is it okay? Is it not okay? Ooh, man, there's so much like hype on this. There's so much controversy. It has so much clout to this damn conversation. I don't even know why. Like, do you? You feel me? Can you be friends with your ex? Yes or no? Is it okay? Is it not okay? Why or why not? You can be friends with your ex. I highly recommend it, honestly, and that's for like my personal reasons, and I think it's a reason that I should share with everyone. I respect my relationship that I had with my ex. My ex helped me grow into the person that I am today. Without those experiences and without him teaching me what I had taught, all the lessons learned and things like that, I would not be who I am today nor where I am today. And I think that's really important, and that's why I'm friends with my ex. I'm also friends with my first love. I don't call him my ex because I don't know, I don't think that it was real dating. High school dating is not real dating, I think. I used to highly disagree with that. I think if you date in high school, you're definitely dating. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I've had a real taste at dating, and it's not the same as high school whatsoever. Like, I lived with my ex. So, you know, we shared everything. We shared our apartment. We shared our bed. We shared all the pretty intimate things that I'd never shared with my first love. But do I love my first love? Absolutely. I'll always have love for my first love, but like from a distance. And he knows that, and he's still my biggest supporter. So I just want to say, if he's listening, then thank you for listening. But yeah, I'm definitely friends with my ex, and it definitely took us a minute to get there. Like, we did not talk, I want to say, for 9 months after we broke up, and even now we're still pretty reserved when we talk to each other. I had seen him one time at like one of these buildings that I work for, I guess. I don't know how to explain it in the civilian world. Goddamn, I'm in the military. But no, I had seen him, and it was just like, oh my god, like, you still exist. I don't know. And from then I kind of opened the door up to being friends with him a little bit. But it took me a few months afterwards to really be like, okay, I will let you in. I will tell you about my day if you ask me, and I will want to ask about your day and things like that. It definitely took us a minute, and I wanted to let him know at that day, for sure. I let him know that if you ever need someone to talk to, I will be open to listening. So yeah, it took us a minute to get here. Let me tell you, we had, I don't want to say a bad falling out. We didn't have a bad falling out, but we definitely had like a toxic falling out. It was only toxic because near the end of our relationship, we didn't know how to communicate anymore. So we had gone through a pretty traumatic experience last year, multiple experiences, I would say. So we're both military, so he had left for deployment. And when he got back, I left for my deployment a week later. So it was pretty intense. We were just passing each other. We had 1 week to spend with each other. And during that 1 week, all he wanted was to be alone, and all I wanted was to be with him. And it caused so many problems, because it was like, well, I know that you just got back from deployment. All you want to do is be alone, but I'm leaving for deployment, so how about you spend time with me? So that was a pretty traumatic thing. So for like almost a year of our relationship, we had not seen each other in person except for that 1 week, maybe 2 weeks in January, and towards the end of the year, it just wasn't working out the same. The beginning of the year was the most dramatic experience, so and this is like kind of hard for me to talk about, but we were going to have a baby, and unfortunately I lost the baby. So it's definitely something that I'm working through every day, and that's why I try to keep getting new hobbies, because I know that I need to keep my mind occupied, my body occupied, otherwise I'm just going to be sad all day. And I don't know why it affects me still, because it's been over a year later, and I don't know why it affects me still, but I think it's just because I'm so excited to be a mom, and, you know, to be someone that is needed. I guess, because I've always felt like I was never needed. But maybe it's just because I was just too clingy of a person. I don't know. I don't know what it was and why it affects me. And I'm not saying it's not supposed to affect me. I'm not supposed to be heartless, but it was secretly a blessing in disguise because we were together for 3 years and, you know, there was no motivation to get married. Like, we were complacent. It was a problem because we were complacent. And you shouldn't be with somebody that you're complacent with. You should be with somebody who's annoying as fuck and wants to push you at every minute of every day, no matter what, as long as it motivates you. You know, that's who you should be with. So, like, towards the end of our relationship, we kind of just got to a point where it's like, well, I'm in so much pain that I don't want to talk to you. And you know that I don't want to talk to you, so you're not going to talk to me. So it kind of got into, like, our routine where we just didn't even speak to each other. We didn't even give affection to each other or anything like that. And then when it did start, like, when he did finally start approaching me, I would just backlash. I'd be like, well, this is your fault for A, B, and C. And it would just be a constant thing, and it would make him feel like how he felt was irrelevant. And that's fucked up on my end. You should never make someone and how they feel irrelevant. Everyone's opinions matter no matter what, you know? So it was definitely a thing. And it was definitely unfortunate to go through, and I absolutely apologize to him for it. That was never something I wanted to do. I guess it just kind of happened, and that's not even an excuse. I will definitely own up to it. I definitely take accountability, and, you know, I admit my faults, so I'm definitely at fault for this. And I am friends with my ex, and I definitely think it's okay to be friends with your ex. You know, as long as they're not mentally or physically abusive. Like, don't be with somebody who puts you down and makes you feel like you're not good enough, you know? You should not do that. You should love yourself first before you decide to be friends with your ex. You should know that you are perfectly capable of living without your ex before you become friends with them. Because if you think that you're not capable and bam, you just jump into friends, then it's like, well, you're kind of in the same bubble that you were in for, you know, however long that you were with this person. But you know that even though you guys broke up, it won't work again, but you still have this hope that maybe if I remain friends with them, it'll still work out. And that's not okay. You gotta love yourself first. You gotta know that you're independent, that you could do life on your own for sure before you jump into anything with anyone, and before you become friends with your ex. That's really important. For a while, I thought I couldn't live without my ex, and now here I am living my best goddamn life, making all the bad decisions in the world, I promise. Why is it not okay to be friends with your ex? So, for a few reasons. If they are mentally or physically abusive, you should cut that hoe off. No, it is highly unacceptable to be with somebody who is mentally or physically abusive, or makes you insecure and makes you feel like you're not good enough. I was talking to this guy once, and we are not friends because of this, and he would tell me that I was a whore for wearing a dress because I put it out there too much. Like, honey, no, not the case at all. I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want to wear, and if you have a problem with that, then you can just go the fuck away. I don't care how you feel about me wearing whatever I want to wear. I think that anybody should wear whatever they want to wear as long as you're not exposing yourself, if you know what I mean. But hey, to each their own. You do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you my opinions and my views and my perspectives, and that's why I listen to podcasts. So, and make bad decisions, for sure that. Back on topic, yeah, he told me what to wear, and I honestly, for a while, I let it get to me. I did. It took me a minute to get out of that because I was just like, well, I don't want to be just a good fuck. I want to be good enough to be somebody's wife one day. And I to this day, I can't believe that I let that get to me. Like, what was I thinking to let that get to me? And, you know, he's apologized to me for it. He actually got some perspective, but at that point, it's just like, you already did damage. I don't even want your apologies anymore. Just, how about we mutually agree not to talk or anything like that? So, yeah, you know, don't be friends with somebody who makes you feel like you're not good enough. Damn it, bitch. Like, you're good enough. You are good enough. I don't need to see you. I don't need to know you to know that you are good enough and you are beautiful, and everybody deserves to feel like that, for sure. We are all human. We are all on this fucked up planet and world together. Let's make the best of it, you know? And I live by that. So, that's something, how I feel. That's a little bit about me and how I'm passionate about that. Can you hang out with your ex? Is it okay? Is it not okay? Why? Yes, it is totally okay to hang out with your ex. Do you, you know? If hanging out with your ex is gonna make you happy, as long as you love yourself first, like I said, and you're independent, you can hang out with your ex. But look, just understand that there are boundaries and lines that you should not cross by hanging out with your ex. So listen, if they text you at midnight, 1 in the morning, whatever, you know goddamn well that's a booty call. Don't go. Because you're just gonna go through this cycle again and again, and it's like, I feel like when you get physical with someone in this day and age, that's where your emotions come from. And I'm guilty of it too. If I'm physical with someone, 9 out of 10 times, I get feelings for them. And then I get played. And then I ask how I got played. But they only asked for sex in the first place. So why am I thinking otherwise? Bad decisions. Again, this is the story of my goddamn life, I promise you. Yeah, no, you can hang out with your ex. If they, text you at 7 p.m. and say, hey, can you meet up for dinner or whatever? Let's go hang out and get some food at 7:30. I really need someone to talk to. I'm really in need of a friend. I need advice. I need some kind of, perspective in life on how to handle this situation. It could be work related. It could be whatever related. You know what I mean? Personal, family, whatever. And they're asking to hang out with you, then I don't see why that would be a problem. They're just asking for friendly advice, and who's better to go to than somebody who knows them pretty damn well? I mean, I fully will hang out with my ex. I have hung out with my ex, and I did not mind it whatsoever. It was nice to hang out with somebody who genuinely knows me inside and out, especially being with somebody for 3 years. That motherfucker definitely knows me. He definitely knows my cycles, too. It's crazy how well he knows me. Hey, did you get your period? Just kidding. He doesn't actually do that. But when we were together, he definitely did that. It was freaky. It was freaky how spot on he was. Like, he could get it down to the day. But anyways, it's totally unrelated topic to the situation. Not what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Maybe this is why my friend's coming up. I don't know. So there's definitely everything in moderation. There are definitely times for you to hang out with your ex. There's definitely times for you not to hang out with your ex. You just kind of gotta figure it out. You guys gotta figure out a balance together. You feel me? You are, this is a new friendship when it once was a relationship, so it's really hard to know your boundaries and set your limits, and I feel like that's something that you should definitely talk about. My ex and I didn't need to talk about it because we already knew. No, because we knew it will never work again, and we're not going to put ourselves through that toxic, bad environment that we have already been in, for the last year. It's not going to happen. So we're totally okay. We're great. It's strange how great we are as friends as opposed to how we were as a couple. I miss him sometimes as my boyfriend. Like, dang, man, like, I miss you a lot, but I know better, and I let him know that, I'll always finish it off with, I know we will not get back together. And the more I say it, the more I'm manifesting that it will not happen, because I get so many people around me who knew us together, and it's just like, well, you guys are going to get back together, you just wait and see. No, honey, it's not going to happen. We know. So that's just me. And can you hang out with your ex while you're seeing someone else? Ooh, man, let's talk about it. So, yes, you can hang out with your ex while seeing someone else. The person that you're seeing should not dictate who you cannot hang out with. They should not dictate that. They should not be able to dictate what time you fucking go to bed, because I have seen that and heard that before. Can't believe that's a thing, but it is. They should not be able to dictate what you wear. No. You guys are meant to be a team. I feel like when you get with somebody, it's because you see that you guys work well together and you could be a team together, and that's so important. So, no, they can't dictate who you hang out with, but they can have their opinion on it, and you can, take that at face value, or you can just dust it under the rug, whatever you want to do, but they can't tell you can't hang out with your ex. Now, they could highly recommend that you don't hang out with your ex if they're texting you at 1 in the morning saying, hey, come over, are you doing anything? Yeah, that's kind of like sus. I can see how that would be a problem. So again, like, everything has limitations. I mean, personally, nothing good happens past midnight, so I don't even go out past midnight. Like, if it's midnight, I really want to be out. That's the point. But I'm old. I go to bed at 8:30. Like, that's the type of vibe I'm living, because I'm old. I already got all the kind of back problems, knee problems, joint problems, you name it. I got it. Heart problems for sure. So yeah, no. Just know that there are limitations with you hanging out with your ex, if you can or not. And depending on the time, depending on what it's for. Can you ask your ex for advice? This is another controversial topic. Yes, you can ask your ex for advice. It can be personal advice. It could be like, hey, I ran into this issue at work that you've worked through before. Can you tell me how you figured it out? It could be a problem that you're asking for a solution. What you should not do is ask your ex for relationship advice, especially if it's a newfound friendship with you guys. I think that personally, if my ex were to come at me and ask me for relationship advice with a new girl he's seeing, I'd be pissed off because I still have leftover feelings from you, and it would be completely unacceptable for you to ask me how to handle a new girl. But I think if we were out of the relationship for a minute and, down the line, like years from now, when the breakup to friendship ratio is equivalent, then I think it would be okay for him to go ahead and ask me for advice. Because again, I know it won't work, but I'm just not ready to hear about that yet. I don't want to hear about your newfound troubles with your new girl or whatever. And I think the feeling's mutual. I don't think he wants to hear me talk about that either. Like, he wants to know that I'm happy, that I'm being treated well, that, I got my life together or I'm getting it together, but I don't think he wants to know the details of who I'm seeing and how that's going. And I feel the same way. I don't want to know that, but for personal advice, work advice, like family advice, friendships advice, things like that, I don't see why it would be a problem to ask for advice. Why not, Even if you are seeing someone, I don't see how that would be a problem. So that's my personal perspective on it. But I fully respect my relationship, and I think that whoever you're with should respect that relationship too, ex or not. That's still someone that you built a life with, and they have to understand where you came from to know where you're going, and that is highly, highly, highly important. And I support being friends with your ex as long as it's not mentally or physically abusive, So I think that's a little bit about this topic. As much as the questions that I kind of gathered over the week. I'll have episode 2 next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that, guys. Just want to say thank you for listening to episode 1. If you have any feedback, at all, I am willing to hear it. Even if it's constructive criticism, as I call it, could be negative, I still want to hear it. I want to know how I can make my podcast better, because these are just my opinions. And, my friends won't let me speak, so it would be nice to just let me speak. And I value opinions. It drops perspective, good or bad. It drops perspective, and most people can agree with me on that. So, thank you for listening, and be safe, be happy, and be loved. XOXO Jazz.